Hey everybody, hopefully you can see my screen. It should say Facebook retargeting walkthrough or something like that. Somebody let me know you can hear me in the questions. That'd be wonderful. Annalisa, you there?
I am. It does look good on my side. I see the Facebook retargeting and I can hear you, so we're two for two.
Good. Okay. I have a confession to make. Our
Oh,
our Thursday webinar, I was sitting in a car at the beach. Um,
what?
yeah, so I was happy we got through with that one. This today we should have a good connection and everything should work well. So I'm feeling good. All
All right.
right. So I don't
You
know
feel
why I
better?
mentioned that.
A
Maybe it was the
weight is
fire.
lifted?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
now I feel better. All right,
Okay.
so guys, welcome to the weekly. We're doing this twice a week now. Inside Real Estate Success webinars. We record all of these. Before you ask, we will be dropping the recording in the Facebook groups. And here is the link to the doc. I'll drop this to everybody. If somebody could reply, I need somebody to say something so I can drop this link. And I don't know why I need somebody to say something. It's just a GoToWebinar glitch. I need to be replying to somebody to send to all. And then we're going to have a guest today. I thought it would be fun. He's on now. Carrie, can you hear me? Give Carrie a minute to get his mic going, but I thought it'd be interesting. I had a nice conversation. Carrie's a user of Conversion Plus. We were in the advertising support going back and forth. And he was trying to follow the retargeting course that we have inside of the Learning Portal. If you haven't seen it yet, the Learning Portal can be accessed from the left side of your dashboard. We have a number of courses there, including one that I created called Retargeting 101. And I think Carrie was going through it, and he was like, "Hey, some of the stuff in your tutorials just aren't on my screen," and and I was like, why don't you just come on and we'll go through this, because sometimes I create these courses and these walkthroughs and I move really fast, and I thought it'd be neat to have the user's perspective and let everybody else watch. And in fact, Annalisa, look at this, I got a typo right there. um, so thank you, Sarah and Jay. What's up, Jay? I'll paste this link to everybody now that you guys have replied. So there's the link to the notes. Carrie, I'm sorry, I don't have your audio. It doesn't seem to be showing up. So
I don't think they're fully logged in yet. I don't see their monitor or their mic yet. I just see like they're a third of the way here, so they may need to log out and try again.
okay, so that's fine. I can get going without our
Yeah.
guests, but let's start now. Let's talk about retargeting. I'm going to assume that most of you guys have heard of retargeting. I know that you have anybody watching this has experienced it. This is sort of marketing tech that's been around for actually a while now. I mean, going back at least 5, 6, 7 years, maybe longer. But the basic idea is that you visit a website, then you leave the website, and then ads for that website start to follow you around everywhere you go. And it's sort of a really powerful way to make sure you convert more of your traffic. And I think it's almost a must-have in real estate these days. I really firmly believe that retargeting is one of those kind of levers in your business that you can flip on and really quickly start to see results. Even if they're not quantifiable, you can start to make lots of little micro touches that you weren't making before without a lot of effort up front. So you've seen Amazon.com, Walmart does this. Anybody big, you're looking at a product. I have this. My wife has this theory that if you say stuff, you're talking and your iPhone is spying on you. I kind of believe it. Like, you've probably seen this. Like, you'll see an ad on Facebook. It's not always coincidence. So there's some dirty stuff going on there. Legit retargeting where a pixel is dropped and then you start to see the website, in my opinion, doesn't hurt anybody. It only helps the advertiser get more conversions. In fact, I know this might be a stretch. I think it might actually help the consumer too, because we all get distracted. Maybe you wanted to buy an investment property yesterday when you were Googling, when you saw an ad for foreclosures in Tampa Bay, and you went to a real estate agent's website. Your kid walked in the room and, needed something, and you left the room and you totally forgot that idea. And now you're getting this real estate ad 2 days later showing in your stream. You're like, oh yeah, I want to buy an investment property. So I would say that this isn't only the benefit of the advertiser, maybe it's good for the consumer as well if it's done ethically and properly. What do you think, Annalisa? Am I stretching it there?
Not at all. And in fact, I mean, there is all sorts of retargeting happening, even some of the technology of televisions and so forth. I found that with my new LG. So, there's things you need to be aware of.
Right, right. So your LG, your TV might be sending data back to the
Yep.
advertiser.
Yeah, it does. And you can of course as a consumer we can change these controls, but they can help us as sales professionals and consultants to help people get on their way in a very nice welcoming way.
So
Not
that's
a
what we
creepy
want
way.
to do today. Harry, I am so sorry. Maybe you want to try the call-in number. Um, Carrie's trying to get on, but I can see his audio is not working. Sometimes you can use the phone option, or sometimes GoToWebinar will hide the audio stuff like under another window, and you kind of got to push that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Keep on going here. So why use retargeting for real estate? Well, first off, we have an amazingly long sales cycle, right? People come to our websites, they don't buy for 6, 12, 18 months, 3, 5 years. So retargeting can be a great way to automatically just stay top of mind and build top of mind, the second bullet here, with those people coming to your site. It is very rare that somebody answers a Facebook or a Google ad, comes to your website, calls you 5 minutes later and says, oh, I need to see properties this weekend. It happens, but for when it doesn't, you need tools like KV Core and Conversion Plus to do automated follow-up, and then layering in retargeting is going to help in a big, big way. I have a note here. It says your competitors have the same technology. What I mean by that is that, a lot of people have Conversion Plus, KV Core, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., all of our competitors, and have sophisticated marketing automation software going. Sort of become the norm in the industry, and we like to think that we do a good job staying at least on par, or in most cases ahead of the competition. But your competitors also have the same tools for drip emails, texting, and stuff like that. They are not yet all on board with retargeting. I know that. I know that many haven't gotten here yet. So there's an opportunity for you to really brush up on this stuff and maybe get out ahead of the curve. And I think the window's closing, but you have a good 6, 12 months to really jump on here.
And
But
if I
what I
could
want
add
to do,
something to that real
yeah,
quick, I
yeah,
know when you're talking to the long sales cycle, it might help you to visualize, it's a marathon. It's kind of like you've got this long cycle instead of a sprint for home buying, as we all know. But if people are getting new into the DIY, just keep in mind it's a long-term investment for that closing, for that referral, for the additional networking and in addition to that. So it takes a long time to build it, and then continuing build your pipeline, but keep that retargeting going in the background to remove some of that work from yourself, right?
yep, yeah, and that's a nice thing. This is automated stuff. When you set it up, it kind of runs. I would say it's even easier to maintain than email drips and text drips, because some of that stuff you have to turn off and on. If you do retargeting right, you don't really need to worry too much about the ad content that's showing, as long as it's kind of neutral. Anyway.
Yeah, and consistent. So there you go, sir.
Yeah. So Carrie, I'm going to just keep going. The demo guinea pig that we had today, he's still working on his audio. We're just going to work on Carrie Riggle's site. He's a Berkshire Hathaway agent in Chicago. And what I did prior to the session was I made sure that I got his Facebook pixel installed in his Conversion Plus site for him. And I want to give you guys a little tip that'll help you out. If you see at the top right, it says Facebook Pixel Helper. And there's like a little blue dot, Facebook Pixel Helper, Facebook Chrome extension. And this is a Chrome extension that'll let you see if Facebook Pixel is installed properly on your site. So when I go to Carrie's site, we have a global pixel. It says number 2. It might be really small on your screen, but it says there are 2 pixels installed. One is our global pixel that we use for things that we do internally at Inside Real Estate, and then Carrie's pixel is installed is the second one right there. So you can kind of see those. So that's how you'll know your pixel's installed properly. Let's talk about this process. The first step in the process is to get pixels installed on your site. So I'm going to walk through that right now. Again, I'm going to move fast on this live webinar, but all of this stuff is in the real estate retargeting course bit by bit in the learning portal. So let me go to facebook.com/ads/manage. I'm actually going to bring up Carrie's account. He was nice enough to give me access prior. Right here, bring it into the screen. And the way to get the pixels, we're going to use this little hamburger deal up at the top left in our ads account. And we're going to hover and we're going to go to all tools right here. And then in the middle, there's a spot that says pixels. Now let's let it load. In Conversion Plus, it's still the case that we have to manually install this for you. So you can just email the code to support@insiderealestate.com, and there's also a spot inside the dashboard where it says send pixel, and it'll kind of open up email for you, and you can send it over. So what I just did was use that hamburger, all tools, pixels, and then if I go to setup and click install pixel, I'll be able to get it. Now this is I can copy it. This is all very Googleable, guys. If you just Google how to find my Facebook pixel, you'll find 100 tutorials, or just do what I just did. If you're watching this recording later, Facebook likes to move things around, which is why I like to bring up the fact that you can Google it, because it might look different in 2 weeks. So I have my pixel. We'll go into, I'll show you how this looks in Conversion Plus to get us to install it for you. There's a little, I think it's under website. On our website, it says add custom scripts, and it'll kind of open up your Gmail and just send us an email that says add pixel to site, and then you're just going to paste that into the Gmail. On KV Core, I don't happen to have KV Core open, but just know that you can self-serve install this on KV Core under the website section where you edit like your scripts and all that other stuff. So
Yeah,
and
it should
support.
be via Web and IDX, and then I believe it is the analytics section on KV Core.
Yeah, and I've got a dedicated video for that right here. Our support team, you can always use the chat box. You can literally just paste that there and say, hey, help me get this installed. And they'll be happy to do that too, if you don't want to self-serve it. So that's kind of the first step in all retargeting. And remember, Facebook isn't the only place you can retarget. I'm focusing on it here for the webinar today with Annalisa, but Google does this. Almost any place you can buy ads has a way to do this retargeting. And it's always going to start with getting that channel's pixel installed on your site. So once you've got it installed, then the fun stuff starts to happen. What happens is, as people visit your site, it starts happening almost right away. So we'll go Carrie Sells Chicago. Under the hood, there's that little pixel, that little bit of code, kind of watching everything I do. So if I go and I look at condos, and I go and look at, say, this listing, it knows that I've visited this URL, for example. So it gets really interesting. I could actually, and I'll mention this in a minute, you could actually target anybody who looks at a specific listing if you want to get crazy by creating audiences around the MLS ID. So I move through the site. There's even probably, I don't want to open my mouth, there's even probably a way, I'm going to let it go, but there's probably a way to retarget people who converted and who didn't convert. But for now, I want to just show you the example where we're going to just retarget people visiting the site. So let's go back into the ads dashboard. I'm going to create my first audience for Carrie here. All tools, audiences, hamburger, all tools, audiences. And Carrie has made some, so he got somewhere with this. This is good. It looks like he did it like a year ago, so that's awesome. He's ahead of the curve. He's got pre-built audiences. I'm going to create audience, custom audience right here. Then the option that I'm going to use is website traffic. Just know that if you want to, you can also upload customer files. So if you have past clients or leads from another system or all your Zillow leads, something like that, you can always upload them as well. And I'm going to do all website traffic. And we can start to slice and dice the website traffic. So I can do all website visitors in the past, say, 180 days. I think that's the longest they let you do. It might be longer. Let me see. Yeah, maximum time 180. And we'll just name this Carrie Sells Chicago.com. All visitors is one audience. So we're going to create that. The way to think about this is that you're probably going to want an audience for each type of ad you run. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a best practice just to get started, and it'll get you 80% of the way there. So we have all visitors. Let's create another audience, website traffic. We'll do everybody in 108 days. Now we're going to get a little fancier, and we're going to do people who visited specific web pages. And on our sites here, if we go to the sell page, right where it says find your home's value, or the seller lead generation page, you'll notice in the URL there's a sell.php at the end of that. I'm going to build a sell.php audience. I'm going to do that the URL contains sell.php. I'll call this Carrie Sells Chicago sell.php. Great audience. Let's just add a few more. Let's do if people visit recruiting page. I know a lot of you guys are trying to recruit, and there's a recruiting page on the site. It's recruit.php. Carry sales Chicago /recruit recruiting. So if you're running traffic to that, then you'll have that audience there. Maybe we'll do one for finance. And this gets really interesting. We talked to James D. Piazza last Thursday. If you haven't seen that, it's in the recordings. But he does a lot of this where he'll retarget the visitors of his agent partner sites. So Carrie sells Chicago finance HP, just so Carrie can find these later. All right, so now we've sort of built up, we're starting to put people into audiences within Facebook based on the different stuff they visit on the site. If they visit our sell page, visit our finance page, we can show them financing offers. If they land on, oh, I don't see it here. If they land on the recruiting hiring page, we can also have that list. And then the last one that I kind of started this with would be if you have a listing. And I think this is incredibly powerful. And if you talk about this in a listing presentation, that person's head is going to explode and want to work with you. But say you're in a listing presentation and you say to the seller, yeah, we use this sophisticated thing called retargeting. Let me just log in so this stops happening. We do this sophisticated thing called retargeting, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, where anytime somebody visits your listing on our site, we're going to follow up with an ad on Facebook that asks them to look at it again and maybe ask us to tell us what they thought. So you could literally build if you go into the URL, it says MLS ID, you see the MLS number up here. I could build an audience that is just the traffic that is visiting this listing. Then I could show an ad later, just me in front of the camera saying, hey, you were looking at my listing at 11 East Walton Street. Just curious, are you going to buy it? Like, please tell me in the comments below. In case you need it again, here's the link again, because they're not going to remember it. But it's just kind of one of those cool, it's gimmicky, also could be potentially powerful. You're showing the rest of the market the stuff that you do. And to set all this up once you get the flow isn't that hard. What do you think, Annalisa? Are you going to retarget your listings?
Yes, actually, and I actually added some notes in here too, because in KV Core and K Plus, KV Core, you can actually add a manual listing and utilize this as well to do some targeting. And with K Plus, you can blog that listing, or if you're a admin, you can create a custom page for it and have a unique link for those. So, there's really no link you really can't create some type of target for in relation to our website, because all of it leads back to you, the agent, and holds some type of content that could possibly attract someone. You just have to determine that target and that niche, right?
Yep. Yeah, perfect. So one that I almost forgot would be the landing pages. So if I do new construction homes in Chicago, right, and say
Yep.
Carrie's running an ad for this landing page, he could run the initial ad, but then retarget based on the URL. And the URLs are all going to have this like gobbledygooky string in here, right? So he might create an audience like I was just doing, that where any URL that has this string in it. And then you could turn around and run an ad that lets people see this list without going through the landing page.
Mm-hmm.
They've already clicked it once, but they decided in their head, hey, I don't want to give the email now. They see a follow-up ad that takes them straight to the squeeze link, and you can now delay registration even on the squeeze link, maybe delay it by 3, right? And then you ask for the re-opt-in. Now this second click, for the people who bounced off this page, it's going to be so much more affordable than the first click, because it's such more of a targeted audience, and we'll get much more engagement on Facebook, because they've already expressed interest. So is that a little abstract? Do you guys want to comment and let me know? Am I moving too fast, or is it all kind of making sense? But that landing page idea, if you are doing landing pages, I highly recommend you run a second retargeting ad that lets them do the squeeze link without going through the landing page. That's the lesson there. And I might even add that in the notes. Landing page, retarget back to the squeeze. That shows the listings with a little bit of delayed registration. Cool. So that's the sort of flow of creating audiences. I'll just mention For any of you guys who are doing a lot of video, you can also create audiences based on engagement with your videos. So down here, which is engagement, people viewed a certain percentage of a video. You can create audience lists and also lead forms. If somebody opens up a lead form, we talk about this a lot where you collect name, email, phone inside of Facebook. If somebody opens but doesn't submit, you can also show those people their retargeting. So Grace says this is fast. Go ahead, Annalisa.
Oh, was going to say that. Just let everyone know it is in the learning portal, and we are recording this so you can watch it on your own pace. But Jay had a really good question. Hey, this is a lot of ads to remember. How do you remember what's like your method of keeping this organized and remembering what you have running and what you need to retarget and so forth, Ryan? How do you work through it? What
So
works for you?
I'll confess, I do a lot of this coaching, but 99% of what I do when I want real estate leads is my foreclosure ad.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
go
it's
anywhere else. Yeah.
solid.
Right. So you don't need 100 funnels. I'm showing you all the possibilities, but hey, get a free list of foreclosures. And then my follow-ups are going to be videos of me doing tours of foreclosure listings. That's it. So it doesn't need to be super complicated, but just pick your niche. Jay, maybe the answer is just set up one funnel like this, right? Make sure you have a really good lead magnet that generates leads at a price you can afford. Yet retarget that specific audience and make sure you have a good drip campaign, and that'll get you most of the way there. But all of this other stuff is possible. I mean, I know guys, Shane over at Monterey Mortgage, he does all his retargeting, a lot of it based on video views. So you can just drop a video inside of Facebook, never have them touch your conversion site or KV core site, and just only show ads to people who engage and watch 50% of a video tour. And then after they've watched and engaged with your real estate video, then you start showing them ads over to your conversion site if you want to sort of build the audience that way.
Nice ease of branding.
Yeah, and you're branding yourself in the process because you talking in their screen. Yeah.
So Mark had an interesting comment. He said, "Hey, I came up with an interesting retarget. Upload your entire Conversion Plus database and retarget them through a customer file." What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's going to be the
pretty
same
awesome.
as your website visitors. I don't want to explode anybody's head, but
Uh-oh.
for those of you who are more advanced, we do have webhooks that get fired from campaigns. And I'm just going to say, maybe I'll do a separate video about this week, but you could, as people move through Sphere, new, active, client, contract, and closed, you could be firing webhooks through Zapier that are adding people to Facebook custom events and audiences. It's really it's hairy, but I think just saying that for those of you who kind of get that flow with Zapier, it's a great idea, Mark. You target people in the database, and you can slice and dice it even further by triggering triggering the addition based on status. So yeah, that would be a good way to catch up, though. I like that suggestion, Annalisa, because he's saying, okay, I'm just learning about retargeting now, but I've got 3,000 people in my database. I didn't have the pixel installed yesterday. So Mark, what you're saying makes total sense. Why not just download the list, upload it as a customer file to get started? Yep. And what's cool, I'll show you when we run the ads, you could show the same ad to that list and also start showing ads to the new people visiting your site all within one ad. So, you can show ads to multiple audiences. Okay, so I think we covered some of the possibilities with creating the custom audiences. That was probably a tenth of what's possible just in that little bit. But most of the sort of return on investment effort will be in just doing this for all your visitors. You don't have to go too crazy here to have a competitive advantage versus your competitors who aren't doing this. So you just build at least a list for all visitors, you're most of the way there. And Mark made a good point. It also gets the ones who are dormant for 180 days plus. Yep, totally makes sense. Okay. So now let's have some fun. Let's run a basic branding ad for Carrie. Carrie, you game for that? I'm hoping you can hear me. I can't hear you, but let's go and run an ad that's going to show to everybody who visits Carrie's site, and it's going to be so simple. Okay, we're literally going to what we're going to do. We're going to show Carrie's picture. I hope he doesn't mind, and we're just going to say thank you and come back to my site. Right. So let's go into his ad account here again. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, and we're back. Oh, I can click the green create ad. And I think all of us could do, if all of us just did this, it would mean a lot for conversion because people are opting into your website, they're getting emails from you, but they have no clue who you are at all, right? Mark's asking how to upload it to Facebook. That would be under the custom audience, what I was just showing. And then there's an option in the custom audiences to upload a customer file when you click on audiences. So I also have that in the course, I believe, as well, in the learning portal. So we're going to run an ad now. I'm going to pick just a traffic campaign. We're going to keep it very simple. You could pick any of these other objectives that you want, but we're just going to do RH webinar demo, so Carrie knows what this is when he goes in. Carrie basic, thank you. Okay, we'll set the daily budget very low. You don't need a high budget on this to have $3. Hundreds of people on your retargeting audience can see you every day, right? You get a lot of impressions. Continue. And then here is where, see where it says custom audiences. I almost want to get my pen out, but I think you guys can see it. It's going to be right toward the top, right where as you create the ad, even before you pick the geography. And I'm going to go here, and you'll see that my custom audiences will now be an option, the ones I just created. It says carrieselfchicago.com, all visitors. Now it says fewer than 1,000 people, and in fact, there's probably like 2 people on this at this point because I just created it. Really cool thing is it doesn't matter. I can set this ad up right now, and then if somebody visits tomorrow, they're going to be automatically added and start seeing the ad that I create now. It's kind of the beauty of retargeting. It kind of works for you on autopilot. If I want, I can say, hey, people might be visiting my site from outside of Chicago, outside of Carrie's Market, and I only want to show ads to people who are in Chicago right now. I'm just going to leave it at everybody in the United States because people might be clicking off a Google ad from Florida, thinking about moving to Chicago, and we want them to see the ad too. But you do have that option, slice and dice the location. You can also change up the ad age range. Maybe you'll go, hey, only people who are on my site are 25 and older. And then I wouldn't do much more with retargeting. I wouldn't try to split up a retargeting list and then go for, more in-depth interest in behaviors because you're not going to, be hard to find that unless you're running a very big operation. You have lots and lots of people on your audiences. So you're going to keep it very simple, the audience, and then continue. Skip everything else, just set all the defaults, click continue. Hey, great question. How long do you run a single ad to an audience? Do you need to change it up once in a while? So I have a friend that I kind of help with this. He's at mortgage company too. He just makes a video a week and adds it. As he adds stuff to his fan page, he just adds it to the one ad he has running for retargeting, and he just turns off some of the older ones. So to answer your question, yeah, good practice is to just create some kind of new content once a week, keep adding it to that ad campaign, and then the stuff that you think is getting stale, turn it off. But at least your audience will keep seeing fresh stuff from you. And I wouldn't mind, I can show you what that looks like here in a minute. So we're going to pick our page. Oh, Carrie, I forget what your page is called. Can you chat that to me? I found it. I got lucky there. Carrie Riggles, Berkshire Hathaway. Okay. So I also do, some of you guys might have heard me talk about using branded versus unbranded fan pages for ads. And one thing that I kind of like to do is use like a generic page like Opportunity Knox or Tampa Real Estate Deals or something like that to generate the initial lead. Then on my retargeting, have a page like Carrie has here with Carrie Riggles and in his company, because you're starting to brand yourself to those people who are on your site. You want your name to ring a bell, and you've already collected the lead, so you don't have that fear that they're not going to they're going to be repelled by the fact that there's an agent behind all this. That would be the reason for using an unbranded page. So Carrie Riggles, Berkshire Hathaway, and then our content is just going to be, in this case, a single image or a video. Carrie, don't kill me. You can turn this off afterwards. I'm going to go into your site and just try to find a picture of you. See if this works out. I'd like for it to be bigger, so just give me a second here. I'm gonna go find him on Facebook.
You could click his link there on his realtor page. I think he has it linked on his domain, just to the right of his
Yeah,
name. Yeah,
I have it in another window here. So it's
gotcha.
the same. It's actually the same picture, so it's fine. On Facebook. I'm just doing it in my other monitor. So I don't know. He wants his whole Facebook stream out there. Okay, and then so back to our ads here. I'm going to upload an image. There he is. Oh, too small. My bad. So I'm going to do this very quickly just to get it done, and we can change out this image carry later. Okay. So, but just for demo purposes, I'm going to do it the shortcut way. So do upload images. I'm just going to have a screenshot here. And everything I'm doing here is 10 times as powerful if you actually do a video, right, with all the text I'm about to write. So I uploaded, there he is, right? If he had a video that says, hey, thank you for visiting my site, I think I've done that on these sessions. I have a video like that. Come back anytime. I'll include that link in the dashboard as an example, in the doc as an example of a video of me doing that. Basically, the text can be, hi, thanks for searching Chicago real estate on my site recently. Feel free to come back anytime or shoot me a text at, and I have no idea if Carrie would talk like this, right? So you're going to do it in the way you would write, the way you would speak. Just kind of do it conversationally. Shoot me a text at, and then post his cell number in there. Oops. Okay, thanks. And we'll do his URL. I'm just going to make the headline of the ad his URL, but you can do anything you want there, you know. But basically, the idea is that people were just on his website yesterday. Then now, after they're on the website, it's like, hey, it's me. Come back anytime. And what this is doing is it's doing a few things. You know, version plus, which is what he uses, is going to start sending automated texts and emails. It's going to have his name on it. So if people get that in their email inbox, then they see Carrie their stream the next day, right, or a week later, they start to trust him more. They start to think, oh, this guy's got an advertising budget. He's legit. Could be that you only have 5 people on your on your retargeting audience, right? It doesn't matter. To those 5 people, you start to feel like you're everywhere. So in just a few minutes, I pick that audience, I put a picture of them there, and I can click confirm. The way that I recommend doing it, if you're comfortable, would be to record a video that basically says what this text says. Hey, it's Ryan with opportunityknocks.com or whatever. You were on my site recently. Just want to let you know I'm here for you. Here's my cell number. Give me a ring and we can talk about, you know, finding you a space in St. Pete, Florida. It could be a 30-second or 1-minute video. If you're less comfortable with video, just do what we've done here with Carrie. Pick an image that you like. Now, what's cool, kind of address, I think it was Jay, how long do you run a single ad, is I can get this running. I'm going to hit confirm, but then pause this campaign carry so that you kind of have the nuts and bolts of it and start using it. You can go in here and you can run another ad in the same ad set. So this ad set, I was a little sloppy, but I should have named this all site visitors, so that he knows that that is who's being retargeted in this particular ad set. And then if I go over into the ads within that ad set, you can now start to run 10 different things if you want. So if you do an open house, if you want to announce an open house, right, this weekend, you could go in here at a separate ad. I can even duplicate this existing one and just change the wording. Say, hey, we have an open house at 123 Main Street. Let it run, and then come in Monday morning and turn that particular ad off. All the other ones will run. So you don't have to overthink it. You could have a rotation of 3 to 5 ads running at all times, and that's kind of what Craig is doing at Pond Street. We're talking about those guys a lot, but just because they're doing great stuff. Do this off here. I don't know if he wants me to show all this. I just want to show you an example of a retargeting campaign that's in full swing, like what I'm talking about. And also, this will give us some good data. This is about a month old, I think, and literally is costing them 5 minutes. They're spending $10 a day, and it's costing them like 5 minutes in time a week, other than creating the content. So this is a mortgage lender who has all his past clients and agents running, right? And you can see here, he's done 4 different, he's doing about a video a week since this started. One of them didn't get approved. It had some language that Facebook didn't like. They turned it off after the fact. But basically, he's reached 1,600 of his past clients at a cost of engagement of, this is in the month of March, at 9 cents per engagement. Lifetime, he spent $200 and has had 2,600 engagements with his content, all videos of people he's done loans with or realtors he's working with. And I don't know. I mean, I don't have the hard data on how many loans he's closed, but I think, for $200 and the average commission that we make off a real estate sale, in over a month's time, or what he makes on a loan origination, his ROI is like crazy. It's 2,600 little micro touches that he might not have had before. And in fact, that's the people who actually engaged and watched the video for a little while. It was 12,000 times that the ads were shown inside of Facebook for just $200. So for anybody who has an existing business and a nice past client list and good traffic to your website, you just can't get that kind of, re-exposure or touching, so to speak, right? Okay, for that much money. Yeah, Robert, the replay will absolutely be available. So we'll make sure it'll be live later today in the Facebook groups. What's everybody thinking? We doing all right? I just kind of showed you a very basic, thank you for visiting my website. Yes, good question. Yes, Craig's got two running at the same time, and that's what's cool. Facebook will actually show both of these ads. It'll try to show the one that's getting the most engagement, but that's all we're doing is we're going in here and flipping switches on and off, right? It's kind of cool. If you build up the bank of traffic, you let one thing run for a little while, and then you let another one. You need to overthink it. You just, the whole idea is, hey, people are seeing me act like a professional in their Facebook streams. And it's kind of cool if you have an idea for something and you put it in. Internally here at Inside Real Estate, me and the person Artie who does all that, we do this constantly. This is how Inside Real Estate generates business every day. It's just a critical part of the game plan. So as we create these webinars, a lot of times you guys might have seen it. You might see an ad for these webinars in your stream. You're already with us, but we're also showing them sometimes to people who aren't with us to kind of just engage them further with the brand, right? The replay will be Sterling. There'll be a link in the document, but the replays are always sent out via email and they're in the Facebook groups. I'll give everybody a link right now to all the replays. Everybody live, I'll send this to you now. And all our replays get put into that YouTube playlist. Okay, so that's the basic branding ad. I love this idea of, here's what you can do on my site video. I just posted an example of that to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/conversion is our Inside Real Estate Success Strategies group. And I posted an example of me doing basically, hey, you're on my site. Here's some cool stuff you can do with the search functionality. Here it is right here. I'll just run it. Okay, so I'll let you guys watch this in the Facebook group, but I think this is a video that any of us could do. You could copy exactly what I did. And you can actually, what you might do is set up an audience for only people who were on your site in the last 3 to 7 days. You're right. You have that audience, and this would be, you can have a little 2 or 3 video campaign that shows them different features of your conversion or KV course site. Okay. So that would be a second type, and it's very easy to do. I use screencast-o-matic.com. Screencast. And you just talk to people. You're like, hey, here's what you can do on my site. It's cool. Other ads you can do, I don't think we have enough time, but you could always mix in a property of the week or a property search of the week. Inside the learning portal, we have a course about social engagement. It's sort of the stuff that Blake and Ashley Cantrell do, with their posting social links. Any of those kind of things that you would post to a group could become a retargeting ad, is the bottom, long and short of that. So we have a course called Social Posting, a simple social posting media protocol that talks about how to build out squeeze links around featured properties and featured search results. And you could add any of these kind of links into a retargeting campaign if you want. Okay, yes. Jay's asking, can you upload a database of past clients to an audience and then have webhooks add more in as time goes? I'm sure you can do that in one audience. Yeah, it's really cool. You can do it. You would need 2 separate audiences. You could actually hook them into that audience. I think one of the neat things you can do, kind of saves the frustration there, would be to just run your ad. I'll show you. The ad set, you can actually pick multiple custom audiences. So you can maintain them as separate audiences, but just have an ad set that puts them both in here. I could easily have this show to do like that. So yeah. Yep, you just choose them in your targeting. So so that's a featured property, featured search. Find your home's value. So a lot of people coming to your site are going to own homes in your area. So you might do a simple ad that points them and tells them to come back to your sell.php site page. I call it sell.php. It's the sell link to find the house's value. Remember, you can retarget people who visit this page. Maybe you do a video that says, hey, you use the computer generated value on my website, but that thing's not that accurate. It's just a dumb robot. If you'd like to have a real human give you a full 25-page report, maybe you hold up a report of an RPR or a CMA that you've created recently on camera. You say, if you'd like me to come and do a full report for you, I'll do that. So that would be the perfect thing to retarget traffic to this page with, right? You can retarget your sell page. And then lender retargeting, I actually just showed you a little bit of that. Here's a case, since we just had Bond Street, here's a case where people are visiting agent sites, and then your mortgage lender could then show a ad related to specific type of content. In this case, some ways to get fixer-upper financing that talks about 203K or home style renovation. So you can get your lender involved and let them retarget your traffic, and maybe vice versa, if you want to. And it's kind of cool. Like, that's somebody who's in the market interested in real estate stuff. Why not let the lender take a shot from his side, knowing that you've got a nice relationship with your lender? Maybe they give that business back to you when it comes back through. So that's about it, guys. That's kind of the basics. I think if you just do that basic retargeting ad that we showed for Carrie with your picture or a video, it's going to get you very far. We had some other ideas here. We have the Retargeting 101 course in the portal, and we have some additional resources and other stuff here on this doc. We even have, I've been thinking a lot about retargeting recently. There's a little bit about KV Core webhooks. I'm going to need to add a video about how to push those on the retargeting list. Also, thanks.io, which, full disclosure, I'm a partner on. We just started doing postcard retargeting, where if somebody clicks allow address, it'll shoot a postcard in the mail to people who visit your website. So you can check that out if you want. A little shameless plug, but I think there are plenty of real estate applications for that potentially. All right, Lisa, any questions from you? What do you think?
I think it was fantastic, and to me, the pace felt pretty good. It would be really fantastic if people could just chat in real quick saying, just let us know, how was the pace? Did you find the content helpful? What are you seeking to learn about in the future as we develop these webinars and courses? Because we want to make sure this is speaking to your business seeds, and we're looking to anticipate what you'll need to learn over the next year to be successful. So, your input is really important as well. And you're welcome to, drop me a line anytime. I'll drop my email address into that doc there, and we'll help you out.
Cool. Yeah. So the learning
our main
portal.
gist.
Yeah. So the learning portal link, just to remind everybody, is in the bottom left of the dashboard. It'll kind of zip you right in. There's a real estate retargeting course. Other stuff we have going. Also, Conversion Plus, QB Core, we're getting great feedback on our basic start courses. If you feel like you just need to brush up and get the basics, and some of this content we're doing today is maybe a little advanced, you're not here yet, we have more basic stuff in the learning portal. That's fine, Mike. Mike's saying you might have to watch 2 to 5 times. I'm happy. I think, with all this stuff, it's just good to get exposure, just be aware that this is available, continue working the system, make sure, keep your nose down, but then maybe in a couple of months you go, all right, I'm ready. What was that retargeting stuff? And then you come back in and dig back in. Mike's asking if you were going to do 2 things right away, what would it be to drive more leads? I'll give my answer, maybe I'll let Annalisa give hers, but my favorite is sort of a real estate deals funnel. We did a webinar about a year ago now that is called a Set It and Forget It Real Estate Deals Funnel. This is where I put people.
Yeah,
my
one's
personal
awesome.
preference. Yeah, this is just.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what would you do, Annalisa?
Well, I was going to say that one and the game plan for generating free real estate leads right below it, and the weird way. Those are fun, engaging ways to kind of get into this, I think, because that's what helped me kind of get my feet wet in the whole zapping world myself. So I would say those are huge. And then also make sure you've learned the tools within the dashboards, like get to know that squeeze page builder, get to know that landing page builder, because those are going to be perhaps anchors for these ads you're creating. So, these all tie into each other. So it's important to make sure you've got those skills together.
That's a great point. Yeah, on these webinars, we're trying to give you ways to use these tools, but you haven't done so yet. Just make sure you go into your dashboard and click every little link you can find and know what it's about.
There is a quiz in about a month, so don't worry, everybody. I'm kidding. No. But I mean, I'm just saying it all links together. So it's important to get these basics of a foundation in so you can start using that retargeting and so forth.
Cool. All right. I think that's it. Andrew's asking the second thing just mentioned. It's all on our webinar replays. If you ever need anything, just go into the Facebook group and we'll tell you where to find it. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you go back to that doc real quick, just so we can show them the bottom, like the additional resources. So what I did is I dropped in to see the full matrix of everything. So when you click there, it opens up everything we have actually posted and added. And then there's links to the real estate portal. I mean, our training pages, our YouTube channel to register for webinars if you're sending this to someone who's not looped into this yet, and then other tools. So we try to keep it concise for you so you have everything you need per session.
Excellent. Lisa does. I just kind of vomit it all out, and she keeps.
Well, I mean, it's who I am. It's what I do.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back Thursday at 2. I don't know what the topic is yet, but we'll be back for another one of these live ones, and I'll be sure to invite your offices and your lender partners and everybody along. See you soon.
Bye, awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.